And you doing what you want to do and saying what you want to say and being who you want to be so confidently and unapologetically is such a trigger for them, because they're like, damn, like, it reminds them basically that they don't have that confidence, they don't have that courage. That's a reminder to them, whether it's unconsciously or consciously. And so in order to make themselves feel better, they're going to think or speak down on you in some way to bring themselves back up. Hey girlies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sanem for those of you who are new here. And this is the Tea on Life, where I spill the tea on how life works, how to navigate through all the trials and tribulations that life has to offer us, so that we can grow and that we can heal and we become the best version of ourselves and live the best version of our lives possible. I'm just a girly who's trying to help all the other girlies live their best life. Okay, I'm here today because I want to talk about how we can overcome this fear that a lot of us have around being seen and putting ourselves out there. When I say being seen, it can look like anything really. It can look like, you know, putting your work out as an artist to be seen, talking, speaking the words that you really want to speak, allowing yourself to be seen vulnerably in that sense. Maybe it's about you just having the confidence to be your crazy, weird, beautiful self. You could be some kind of artist. Maybe you want to start a podcast channel or write a book. Maybe an aspiring teacher or a public speaker. Maybe you just have something that you really want to say. Whatever it is, it's scary. And it's hard putting ourselves out there. It's hard letting ourselves be seen, letting our work be seen. It's hard expressing ourselves to who we truly are deep down. It's hard because we're scared. We're scared of what might happen when we do those things. But the fact is, when we prevent ourselves from doing any of these things, we are ruining our own potential and we are staggering our growth, because we end up cutting ourselves off from the people and the experiences that are possible for us to call in to our lives when we do have the confidence to put ourselves out there and allow ourselves to be seen by the world. We feel unfulfilled, we feel unsatisfied with not only life but also with ourselves, because there's that disconnect there. You know, we're suppressing ourselves, we're not living fully and vibrantly. When we release that fear, we in turn release ourselves. We are free to be whoever we are, and we're free to be whatever it is that we desire to be. And I think that is crucial if you want to fully immerse yourself in the truest and fullest experience that life can offer you. Not everyone has that opportunity, not everyone has that luxury or that freedom to be themselves. So if you do have that opportunity, I really urge you to take it, utilize it, and make the most out of your life. You know, don't live your life off of the thought of what could have been. We are brave enough to put ourselves out there. It can really change the whole trajectory of your life. Amazing things start happening and coming into your experience that kind of take you into this place of alignment, you know, and you're really missing out on all of that when you decide to let fear run the show. And so you need to ask yourself what it actually is that's stopping you from taking action towards the things you want to do and towards the person that you're trying to be, or towards the person that you want to be. You know, identify those fears. Are you scared of rejection? Are you scared of being judged? Are you scared of ridicule? Are you scared of failure? Or are you, even worse, failing publicly for everyone to see? You know, for me, it was literally all of these things. As much as I've done the work to overcome these fears, I'm still human, you know? And I still have my days where the idea of any of these things happening, it scares me. At the same time, what scares me even more is the idea of not being myself, not showing up as the truest version of myself and not expressing myself. What scares me is living a lie by hiding myself away and suppressing my voice because I'm scared. I might as well just put myself in a cage. I will never allow anything or anyone, even myself, to put me in that cage, and neither should you. You know, but that's the thing, when we're controlled by fear, we are putting ourselves in that cage, because in that cage, it's nice and it's safe. We know what to expect in that cage. We know what it looks like. Nobody can hurt us in our little cage, you know? But the thing is about that cage, it's a prison. It's a prison because we can never learn. We can never grow. We can never expand as people. The only way the growth can take place in your life is when you throw yourself into experiences and environments and situations that make you uncomfortable. Because that is how we learn and that's how we adapt. If you're living your life with the same routine, the same habits, you know, the same same train of thought, same behaviors, living in the same place, do you really expect your life to change? Do you expect that you'll change? And so I think it's really important that if we want to make that change in our lives, we have to learn how to face our fears and how to walk through them. Putting yourself out there, even when you're scared, is the best way to conquer that fear. When we do the things that we're so scared of doing by turning around and facing them head on, that fear, it tends to get smaller and smaller. It loses its power over us. Exposure therapy works 100%. I'm a massive advocate for exposure therapy because every time the thought of doing something has scared the shit out of me, I've forced myself to do it because I know by doing that thing, it's not going to be as bad by the end of it. It's like throwing yourself in an ice cold bath. You get used to it eventually. It's when we keep running away from these fears that the resistance towards them grows. We get even more fearful of them. Putting myself out there by starting a YouTube channel was one of the scariest things I've ever done. It was very, very daunting. I do YouTube because, it's fun, it's creative, I get to inspire people, I get to guide people, and most of all, I get to express myself. I get to express myself on the ideas that I'm passionate about, the things I hold close to my heart. But, I was still scared. I was scared of what people might think of me. Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to watch my videos or not? Are they going to reject me? Am I going to say the wrong thing? The list went on. It went on. But I thought to myself, if I don't do this, I'm just running away from myself. I'm running away from my fears, and I'm running away from that confident, badass version of myself that I'm trying to be. Because how am I ever meant to be that version of myself if I let these fears have power over me, and I keep running away from them? That's not really giving bad bitch energy. I knew that the only way that I was going to be able to conquer these fears was by just walking straight towards them, ripping the band-aid off and just throwing myself in the water. I knew that the more I faced these fears and the more that I accepted them, the less of a hold they would have over me. And I knew by walking through them, on the other side, I would be greeted by that badass, confident, empowered version of myself that I so desperately wanted to meet. You know what? It actually worked. Every single time I put a video out there for everyone to see, for myself to be exposed to, I became stronger, I became more resilient. I started building a thicker skin. I stopped caring so much. I stopped focusing on the bad and focusing on my fears, because being myself, showing up as myself and doing what I knew I was meant to be doing just felt way too good. And the other thing was I just started to get used to it. It started to become habit. That's the other thing that stops us from putting ourselves out there, is because most of the time it's out of routine. We don't know what's going to happen when we put ourselves out there. It's that uncertainty. It's natural for us to fear what might happen when we put ourselves out there, because at the end of the day, our brain is only trying to keep us safe. And so the uncertainty that lies behind the things that we've never dared to do before, to our brain goes off with that red alert. Our brain tells us this isn't safe. These are some uncharted waters. Let's not do this. Our brain says, let's keep ourselves in our little cage on dry land where it's nice and safe, where we're protected, where nobody can hurt us. This is why a lot of us struggle picking up newer and healthier routines and habits, because our brain is so used to our old habits and our old behaviors, even though they may be toxic. It's what the brain knows, it's what's routine. So it feels safe to us to revert back to those old ways. And so you need to convince yourself that you are safe. You are safe to be yourself. You are safe to be seen. Your ego might get damaged a little bit, not gonna lie, but that's fine. It's healthy. It's healthy to get your ego hurt a little bit. That's how we grow. To break through that fear, we have to make the unknown known. And so to make it known, we have to break through that fear. We need to just do it. We need to just take the leap. Think about when you first jump into a pool or the ocean. At first it feels really uncomfortable because your body is trying to adjust to this new temperature. And then eventually your body does, and it starts feeling really good. In the process of walking towards these fears, you also want to get curious about them. Like, why are they even there in the first place? Something has happened to you in the past for you to be scared of this thing happening. Once you start questioning your fears, you start making the unconscious conscious. You start unraveling layers of yourself. You start to understand yourself more, and you start to see yourself more clearly. Starting YouTube was one of the biggest catalysts for growth that I've ever had, period, that I probably will ever have. Because it showed me so many fears that I held deep down, made me aware of them. One of those fears was rejection. That was a massive one for me, and I had to sit down with myself and I had to do the work alongside my therapist as well. And, we were able to gather that the reason why I fear rejection so badly is because as a little girl, I held this core belief of never feeling good enough. And I also lacked connection. That was a need that was never met of mine. I always really struggled connecting with people. I felt like the black sheep, the alien. I was always from the outside looking in. I never felt that love. And so when I did feel a sense of love or validation or attention, that made me feel good enough. But seeing as rejection is the opposite of connection, it makes sense why I was so scared of it, because that meant that I wasn't getting that need met. And if I didn't get that need met, it was going to feed into this belief of not feeling good enough. It was so easy for me to spiral. And so of course I'm going to be scared of putting myself out there because everyone can judge me, everyone can reject me in any way possible, and so I had to really focus on doing that work, heal that wound, heal that fear that my inner child had picked up so that I could put myself out there more freely. I really had to work on building that confidence, building that self-trust, building that self-love so that if I was to get rejected, it wasn't going to affect me the way that it would have, 2-3 years ago. So I really urge you to dig deeper in yourself and to understand why you feel the way you feel about certain things and really getting to the root of that problem, getting to the root of that fear, because it's that root that has really spread its branches out, all those branches of doubt and fear and anxiety, and low self-esteem. And so if you can unearth that root, you can unearth the whole damn tree, if you get what I'm saying. Obviously, when it comes to putting ourselves out there, there's this massive focus on people. There's this massive focus on what they're thinking, what they're saying. Are they rejecting us? Are they accepting us? Whatever it is. And one thing that has helped me immensely in moving forward was coming into the understanding that, it's always about other people and it's not about you. Because every single person on this planet has their own insecurities and fears and beliefs, and they have their own unique way that they see others and themselves in the world, And so if you have someone that's hating on you, or they're judging you, or they're gossiping about you, that is them projecting their own fears and their own insecurities. They are insecure about something deep, deep down. There's something down there that they have to work on in themselves. And you doing what you want to do and saying what you want to say and being who you want to be so confidently and unapologetically is such a trigger for them. Because they're like, damn, it reminds them basically that they don't have that confidence, they don't have that courage. That's a reminder to them, whether it's unconsciously or consciously. And so in order to make themselves feel better, they're going to think or speak down on you in some way to bring themselves back up. Because when you really think about it, people that are coming from a place of self-love and they love themselves and they feel confident and secure, they're not going to say nasty, mean things about you. They're not going to judge you in a horrible way. They're not going to gossip about you, whatever it is. Okay, they're either minding their business or they're going to be supporting you. Because when you feel good, you want others to feel good as well. It's only the people that feel threatened by you that are going to have a problem. I just think this is so important to understand about people. Because when you do something for yourself, in the sense of, you're trying to set out and achieve your dreams and be the best version of yourself without the intention or the effect of being harmful or negative to anyone else, and people still retaliate, you're able to step back and say wow, this isn't really about me, this is a them problem. Because I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing my own thing, staying in my own lane, trying to hustle, do my thing, and they're being haters. For what, Now you can see why. They're really just exposing themselves when they act out like this. And you know what? God bless them. I hope they heal. I hope they work on themselves, whatever they need working on. And I hope they have a good day. Once you realize that it's about them and it's not about you, people become way less they become way less intimidating, because you realize, they They just got their own shit that they're dealing with, and they're just choosing to throw it on me in whatever way they do that. So you're also not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I think that is really important to understand. I think that when we put ourselves out there, we always have that hope of everyone wanting to love and adore us, you know. And as lovely as that would be, that's just not the world we live in. People be haters. And, you know, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and you don't have to be. And that's fine. Accepting that not everyone is going to like you, that not everyone is going to, you know, dig your work or dig with what you have to say. That acceptance is another crucial part in moving forward. It's the best way of releasing that fear, is just being okay with whatever happens. Being okay with failing, being okay with people judging you, being okay with rejection, whatever you're scared of, whatever you're fearful of, being okay with it. Detaching yourself from the weight that you feel these outcomes have, you know, because at the end of the day, we have the power to decide what affects us. We really do. That's the truth. It's easier said than done to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna stop caring. That's just not gonna affect me anymore. I don't really care. I get it. It's easier said than done. But what helped me at the start was just pretending that I didn't care. You know, I like to call it my so what mindset. And at the start, when I first started trying to be more confident, trying to put myself out there more, obviously I was still very scared and very nervous. There was still a lot of anxiety there, but I adopted this mindset of so what, you know, so what people judge me, so what I get rejected, so what I fail along the way. And like I said, even though I was scared of those things happening, I kind of tricked myself into thinking that I didn't actually care, because by doing that, it gave me the push that I needed to keep going forward. And eventually, I stopped actually caring. You know, fake it till you make it, literally. Maybe you do something and you put yourself out there and someone judges you for it. They say something nasty. Okay, so what? They're just words, they're just thoughts. Are you really gonna let that have a hold over you? You know, this is someone's opinion. And then this is you. So are you really gonna let this tiny, tiny thing affect you in that way? You are so powerful, okay? This is insignificant, all right? But so many of us decide that it's not actually so insignificant and that it has this much power over us. Reverse it, you know what I mean? You do something and you fail at it. That's okay, so what? We all fail. It's okay to fail. Failure is not the end of the road. If anything, it's just redirection, a chance to reassess how we can move forward. No one decides when the end of the road is except for ourselves. And 2, it's really just a label. It's a label stuck on an unraveling of events. It doesn't mean it's the end of those events. It just means we're switching up a little bit. Like I said, redirection, reassessment. Just change your perspective on how you see things. It's crucial. You want to understand the weight of your actions and what means more to you. So what means more to you? Your dreams or your fears? Which one are you going to allow to drive you and inspire you through life? Which path are you going to take? Because the path that you choose is going to control the direction that your life goes in from this point on. If you choose the path of fear, you're deciding that you're totally okay with never learning and never growing. You're okay with always running from yourself, always running from other people. You're okay with living the same old life with the same old patterns and the same old behaviors. You're okay with sitting in unfulfillment. You're okay. You're literally telling yourself that it's okay if I'm never the person I want to be. It's okay that I'm never going to have the life that I truly want deep down. That's what you're telling yourself, because you're saying that your fears are more important than all of that. That's the direction that you've decided to take. So, I mean, everyone has freedom of choice. Who am I to judge? I'm just saying, it's a pretty shitty option. Or you can decide, actually, you know what? My dreams mean way more to me than anything else. Nothing is going to stop me from getting in the way of my hopes and my dreams. Not even fear. I'm going to take action towards these things, even though I'm scared, because I know that in the process, I'm going to learn and I'm going to grow and I'm going to become stronger and I'm going to attract new experiences and opportunities into my life. I'm going to meet some amazing people. I'm going to become wiser, you know, and in 6 months' time, I'm going to have 6 months of progress And what I'm not gonna have is 6 months of excuses. If you're watching this video and you're like, actually, there's that thing that I wanna do, but I'm just too scared, and this is the motivation you need to take action on it tomorrow, set a date for 6 months' time and see how much your life has changed in that gap, in that period of time. Because I promise you, it's gonna change. Doesn't matter how much it's gonna change, it's gonna change. Compared to not taking action because you're too scared, do you really think there's gonna be much of a difference? I don't think so either. So if you wanna make that change, choose your dreams, choose your goals. In whichever way you're attempting to put yourself out there, it's so important that we are our own source of power. You know, and what I mean by that is being able to validate ourselves. As normal and as healthy as it is to want and need validation from the people around us, we don't want to constantly lean on that and become dependent on it, you know, because when we need other people to validate us, we become more subjected to that rejection, that judgment, that criticism, and those are the things that prevent us from stepping up in the first place. You know, those are things that scare us away. I just feel like when you learn how to become your number one pillar of support and your number one hype woman, you don't go to other people to hype you up. You know, you're able to go to yourself, and it makes it easier to take action towards the things you want to do and the person that you want to be, because you're not so scared about whether or not people are going to accept it and what they're going to say about it. You don't really care because you've got you. You know, you're that pillar of support in your life. You make the decisions, you run the show. Who cares what other people have to say? It doesn't matter about what they think is good or bad, or what they think is weird or cool, or whatever label they want to throw at you. It doesn't matter. What matters to you is how you feel about it. Do you believe in it? Are you passionate about it? Okay guys, I'm gonna cut it from here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And hit that subscribe if you haven't already. You know you want to. All right guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.